Another feature I'd like to show, very unique to NetRisk, is how we approach mitigation scenarios in the risk register. It's very typical that you'll see all of these columns might be for a pre-mitigated scenario. And then what you'll see is the tool will duplicate all these columns for the post-mitigated scenario. So you end up with really a lot of columns, or sometimes maybe you have different views. So we'll look at all the pre-mitigated risks and then all the post-mitigated, and that's another solution, but then you have to be jumping in between views. So we've taken a different approach, and I'll show that. Let's pick our material risk. And let's say we want to go ahead and mitigate this risk. So we can just click New Scenario. And if we had any assignments, we'll say, well, yes, let's bring all those onto our new scenario. And you see a new row shows up underneath our risk. We can close down and open up the row, and it organizes all of this underneath the main risk. So now we can say, okay, so we have a post-mitigated scenario here, and it's got a new ID. So we're tracking it separately. We can imagine, let's say we're going to accelerate sourcing of materials, so we can reduce maybe the likelihood or even the impact of this risk. And here we can tell NetRisk that the strategy on this scenario is to mitigate. So we can go ahead and choose in our strategy column, open it up. Right now it says accept. So again, you can choose this on every scenario that you put in, kind of whether it's a threat or an opportunity. If you remember from Francisco's slides, there are kind of a different list of mitigation strategies available. So in this case, we could avoid, we could transfer. So let's go with mitigate. And now here we say, okay, we just look up and we see, okay, well, material was a very high. Well, we think we can bring it down to a high. Our impact, I think we can bring that down too. So we can go ahead and change that to say a medium. And of course, the rating recalculates. We can also drop down the probability for the simulation, which is from a quantitative perspective. We can even change the impact here. So really nice presentation for the mitigation scenarios. And really the key differentiator is that you can create as many mitigation scenarios that you want and model as many different probabilities and impacts all within one view. You're not limited to just two, a pre-mitigated or post-mitigated. You don't have to go and change between other views. And you can even choose over here which scenario you want to be ran during the simulation. So if I just check the box and include, you can see that we get that type of control. And you can mix and match scenarios. So for different risks, I could run pre-mitigated for my materials, but then a post-mitigated for my construction. So very flexible, very powerful option for capturing your mitigation scenarios.